Okay, guys, you got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now on a Millionaire Mentoring and Training call. What's happening today, guys, is what I want to do is I want to recap a little bit on the week. We're going to go through everybody's sort of highlights, what's worked for you throughout the week, what's given you the most amount of results. And then what I want to do actually today is I want to talk about some of the principles that I use, and I want to highlight a couple of the key areas that Chad has used, because right now, out of all of the people in the group, Chad is having the most amount of documented performance and results. And there's a specific reason that that's happening, and I want for everybody to really understand why that's going on, so that you can in turn duplicate the same type of thing that he's gone through. Okay, so let's start here with Tony. Tell us a little bit about your week and some of the highlights, good things that have happened for you this week.
I put a few people in this week. I've got to add them on the trial thing. So I've gone back. I've been sidetracked on a little side project there for a few days. And for me personally, it's tough to do two things at once. So I've still kept it going, and I'm still working on my my Facebook stuff. And it's a simple thing. One thing I've not mastered yet is how to get people from the $7 trial thing up to the black card. I've still not mastered that yet. So I've got a whole bunch on the $7, and as I said, I've also got a whole bunch of people put that card. So I've shifted now. Well, I did it a few weeks ago. As I said, I got sidetracked a little bit with helping others trying to get the black card, where it's totally on the black card now. And my mindset really is, unless people are there, it's just not, time-wise, it's just not worth it for me. So something I found myself getting dragged back into, and it's we become a byproduct of our situation and our surroundings and the people we spend the most time with. It's the people who are struggling. Later they're still struggling. And funny, we were talking about dog. I had this one lady that she was telling me how Dov was getting it wrong on the and it's the law of attraction and blah 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 blah. She's showing me came to the $47 after the $7. Well, you were just telling me how we're getting all this wrong. So I'm finding now a very polite way of cutting people off fiscally.
Perfect.
Because it's so to get drawn into that, it's complete bullshit. Suddenly they find something they want to do, and they've got the money to do it. So it's to me, it's just back to basics again. Get the trials out there. I personally need to catch up on a lot of back office stuff. I said I got myself sidetracked there for a week. So there's people. Not only that, existing people. It's just keep reverting back to the site, and all about the black card. It's it's mindset shift. How can I put this? To get pulled out of that black card vortex, even if the vortex is a vacuum, if you just get out of it for a second, it's like putting a pinprick in a balloon. Everything's gone.
Yeah.
It's like pulling the plug out the back.
Exactly.
Go back into that.
Okay, so let's go over to Mary. Mary, tell us a few highlights that have happened for you through the week.
Through the week. Well, I have gone to implementing Facebook chat, which I really did not do a lot of that before. So I've been just building relationships with people.
Okay.
I actually did get one person finally to the point where I got them to go look at my website. I went and watched Chad's Twitter training, and I am implementing your Twitter because it just rocks. So, and I have that Twitter account there. So I'm implementing that and doing chat on that as well. I have sent out more broadcasts in my autoresponders. I just finished up a round of traffic that I had on order. I did a trial run of just a few hundred clicks with a new capture page to see what the conversion would be. So what else? Oh, and I've really been doing a lot of work in this. So on the beliefs and stuff, because I find that that really makes a huge difference.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Helen, let's go over to you. Couple quick highlights. What's happening? Tell us what's happening with your business through the week. You're muted right now, Helen. Helen, you're muted. Okay, go ahead. Oh, we're still not getting. We're not hearing you, Helen. Okay, let's go over to Chad. Chad, can you can you unmute yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Helen, maybe try and figure out what's happening. We're not hearing you at all in your mic there, so we'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so Chad, let's go with you.
The week's been really good. I've been plowing through with the Twitter formula. And I mean, I'm definitely into forward momentum. I have been waking up. This morning I woke up with a new trial sale, someone who I had not even spoken to. So I mean, that's pretty much what's been going on. I continue to do my connections every day. I've been going into the products for Empower Network. Right now I'm going through the team building formula because I think I've got to the point to where I feel like I'm a top producer. Now I need to more get the culture down, get the retention with my team. So that's why I'm going through the team building formula this week.
Okay. Okay, guys. So here's what I want to cover a little bit about today, and you know, one of the things that I will tell you about this type of an industry or this type of a business model is that if you don't have your front end massive amount of energy, you will never break through this. You've got an invisible wall right here. Okay. So if I say to somebody, you know, tell me what's going on in your business, and they say, well, I talked to this one guy, okay, you're broke. Okay, that's the reality. Okay, so if I say, tell me what's happening in your business, well, I think I got this one guy possibly interested, okay, you're broke, right? You will never break through this wall. It will not happen, okay? Now, when I talk about breaking inertia in 3 weeks, that's based upon 25 connections in any given day times 21 days. That's 525 conversations in that period of time, right? That's going to push that wall through to break it over to keep on going in forward momentum. So I want you to really understand this, that there's completely no emotion involved in networking. Networking is sorting, sifting, sorting, sifting, sorting, sifting. All you're doing is sorting through people to find out whether or not they've got pain, whether or not they're in transition, whether or not they're in some type of a breaking point, and what can you do as a leader to help them get out of their pain and into pleasure. What can you do to get them out of their predicament of not having enough cash flow and into the pleasure of doing their passion, right? So it's very, very simple. You imagine you just got a lineup like this, sort, sift, sort, sift, sort, sift, sort, sift. You're just finding out what's happening in those people's life and listening. Okay, so it's not about pitching your deal. It's not about telling them how great your thing is or whatever. You want to find out what's going on in their life and listen, okay? And you want to be able to start to ask some qualifying questions. Now, a person is either living their passion or they're not living their passion. They're either getting closer to their goals or they're stagnant or getting further away from their goals. So that's what you really want to find out. Where are they at on that path? Are they totally laser beam focused to their goal and they're on a path that's going to be able to take them there? Or are they totally spinning their wheels like this? Okay, so it's very easy to do recruiting. You just have to find out what's happening in a person's life right now, whether or not they're living their passion, and whether or not they're in a state of transition or a breaking point, and do they have some type of pain. If they have pain, what kind of pain? Is it emotional pain? Is it financial pain? Is it pain in their job? Do they hate their boss? What's their pain, right? And what's their passion? So if I find out that if I'm talking to a realtor and they've been in real estate for 10 years, and I say, is that your passion? And they go, well, no, not really. I'm just in it because it's paying my bills. I go, wow, well, what's your passion, right? And they go, I really like to do windsurfing. And I go, well, why aren't you windsurfing every day? Well, I can't afford it. Well, how much money do you need to be able to be windsurfing every day? Right? So if I can get them on a number, they say I need $10,000 a month, right, to be able to do windsurfing 5 days a week. So if I said, if there was a way that you could be windsurfing 5 days a week and make more money than when you're making right now, I mean, is that something that would interest you? Now, keep in mind, when I say this, when I deliver that, I've got no emotional attachment, and my safety net is cool. What do you got planned for the weekend? That's always my safety net. So I go, if there was a way that you could be windsurfing 5 days a week and make more money than you're making right now, is that something that might interest you? They go, no, not really. I go, cool. What do you got planned for the weekend? That fast. There's zero emotional attachment to it, and my mind has already shifted, and I moved on to what I'm trying to get out of the conversation now, because I basically they've disqualified themselves. They've identified their passion, but they've told me that they're not interested in finding how they can make more money than they're making right now to live their passion. They're done. I'm done with the conversation. So I'm going to find out what's going on for the weekend. I'm going to wrap up that conversation, and I'm off on to the next conversation. Okay? So your 25 connections in any given day, it's a very, very high vibration, guys. Very, very high. It's not, it's not like this, okay? It's very, very high. Stop, 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 stop. Fast, 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 fast. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping. Very fast back and forth in your conversation. Not a slow process. So you want to be attentive to the conversation. Like if somebody is, when I'm on a power recruiting, I typically will have 5 chat boxes open at the same time. And if a person doesn't answer fast enough, I close that chat box down. They're gone. Okay, so that means they're not paying attention, right? And I work in a very, very high vibrational frequency. So if I'm in a conversation with you and I ask you a question and I don't see the little thing going back that you're answering, I'll wait maybe 15, 20 seconds max. Boom, you're done. I close down. I'm getting somebody else to talk to right now because you're not paying attention. So one thing that I will tell you about recruiting, if you want to break inertia, guys, okay? Because once you break that inertia and you've got forward momentum, the difference is that your phone starts ringing with incoming phone calls versus you going out all the time, okay? So if I look at what's happened during this last week, okay, keep in mind, the trials are going on one side, okay, so that's paid traffic, okay, so that's one division or one section of my campaign. But what can I do within my system? What can I do within what's going on in my back office to showcase results? Okay, that's what I want to think about. What can I do in my back office to be able to showcase results as a leader? So, okay, am I on a leaderboard? Can I showcase that? Okay, if not, no problem. Let's see. What can I do for my daily sales, my weekly sales, my monthly sales? What can I do for how much money I made today, yesterday, last week, last month? Where can I pull some data to create a little mini campaign? And then can I email that data to my list? And can I showcase that data on my Facebook wall? Okay, so that's what I'm thinking about as part of my campaign. So it's not just about the traffic. It's not just about the conversations. It's not just about emailing my list. It's not just about spending time on Facebook doing some posts. There's a combination, there's a synergistic formula between all of it, okay? So I've got traffic going out, doing some of its work. Now keep in mind, I'm buying the same traffic, right? So if I'm buying the same traffic that you're buying, and my thing's just going like this, and yours is going like this, what's the difference? What's the difference? Mary, tell me what's the difference. If I'm buying the exact same traffic that you're buying, that Tony's buying, that Helen's buying, that Chad's buying, I got the same traffic. There's no difference. What's the difference between what's going on here and what's going on there? Tell me.
Well, first, like you say, mindset. Second, it would be, you know, how often are you emailing out to that list? I mean, you definitely got to communicate with the list. If you don't communicate with the list, they don't respond.
Exactly. Okay, so bingo. So there you got it right there. So, you know, the interesting thing about what's been happening is that I really do this stuff, guys. I'm not, you know, making up something. I'm not saying, okay, there's some hocus pocus thing out there. I'm telling you, I really do this stuff. I really do my proclamations. I really have a self-talk proclamation statement that I go through. I talk about the wave particle theory 3 times per day on a call, on a coaching call. I'm getting on the phone, and I am going to talk to people about how we create our own realities through our thoughts, through our words, through our emotions. Thought-directed emotion that generates feeling that's going out to the electrons. I really do this stuff. It's no BS, right? So I can typically tell when I'm talking to a person as to where are they? Where are they in their frequency? Where are they in their vibrational resonance that they're broadcasting out? I can tell by listening to their voice. This right here is an energy portal. Skype is an energy portal. Google Hangouts, Facebook, they're all energy portals, guys. You can actually adjust that vibrational resonance through projecting into an energy portal. So you've got your vision board, which is an energy portal. We're on an energy portal right now. So what I will tell you about this type of a formula is that it's very, very simple, yet few people will do it. These strategies are very easy, yet few people will do them. They don't take a lot of time, but few people will actually go through and do this process. So if I look at the results that I had for this past week, it was over a $12,000 week. There was 3, I think 3, maybe even 4 black cards that came in. Most of them were just people reaching out to, you know, either by phone or Facebook saying, Darren, what does it cost for black card? Or I saw your campaign, or I saw your post, or tell me about this iPass system. They're all incoming, guys. They're incoming, right? So what I will tell you about this particular formula is that you have to take responsibility. You are the CEO. You are your personal power, and it's coming from here, through here, through here, as to what you're going to create in your reality. You are the creator. You are the broadcast. You're the one that's getting the pushback if you're getting pushback. Why is that? Why do people get pushback? Tony, talk about why people get resistance. If we're all doing the same thing, how is it that I can have a $12,000 week with the exact same traffic, but yet other people are not getting any results at all? Talk to us about that.
So here's my, and this is completely our frequency, what we're emitting completely. So, you know, I was just talking about this before this call started, about all of a sudden I feel like I'm getting pitched, so I just let it go. However, I was telling about the Ferrari guy, and I've had this a few times. I go to places because I like the people. I deal with people because I like the people. So the Ferrari thing, here's the perfect example. I go to the dealership. Why? You know, I'm not a car guy any longer. I live in a city where no one drives. You know, I've no interest in it whatsoever. However, that vibrational frequency, that energy level, I've just been discussing with someone right now, just before I got quantum physics, somehow went off on some conversation with some people, and it went into a tangent. I got it back on track, and another guy, and it turns out we both dropouts from the same school, and we were discussing quantum physics. So the interview was great. You got 2 school dropouts discussing quantum physics, and she looked at me like I was nuts. And then she said, "Well, I don't even understand." I said, "You know what? You don't even need to understand. But here's the thing: if you sit in a Ferrari and you sit in a $100 piece of crap, your energy level is going to be different." And that's exactly the way we're coming at here. So I remember in a previous business, I was taught literally the pitch model. Is the guy I work with who, I use the word mentor in a wrong text with this guy, and his words were, it's the 3-foot model. Speak to anyone within three of you and get them onto business. And it didn't gel with me. That's not me. I'll talk to anyone 3 feet from me, but it's not with the intent of doing business with them. It's with the intent of just connecting. However, when we're getting that pushback, it's because of something we're giving off. And it's to the point where, if, like anything else, you put your 10,000 hours in, you will just know, you will just sense, you'll just feel into it, you'll breathe into it, whether it's a Facebook Messenger chat, or I'm guessing the same. I've just actually clicked onto your link there, Chad, so I need to learn, teach myself the Twitter formulas this week. But you'll just know, like Darren was saying there, when to just, what you got planned for the weekend, when to just back off. So if you're getting a lot of that, it's something that's emitting from yourself. Now, a lot of the time with people, not necessarily this group, but a lot of the time, it's desperation. And one thing that it just popped in my head, this story actually, a few years ago, I was in Toronto, North Toronto, and I was basically killing time. And north of Toronto, there's an area that's all car dealerships. And I'm going back now, I want to say about 20, 25 years. So I was basically burning up half an hour waiting for a meeting. So I go wandering around this BMW dealership. And at the time, the 3 Series convertible was the hot car. You just couldn't get them. So I go in this thing, I'm minding my own business, just wandering around a dealership, killing time, grabbing a coffee while I'm in there. And the guy approaches me, and he's, I'm looking at this convertible. And at the time, I don't know, I would have had a nice car at the time, so I wasn't looking for another car. And he starts talking to me about this BMW convertible. I went, yeah, that's great, da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, and you can have that right now for 10,000 down. And I was trying to be polite with the guy. He said that, they're very rare, you can't get hold of them, da, 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 da. They're very popular with a certain ethnic culture at the time. And, they're snatching them all up and blah, 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 blah. And he made it like this car was really sought after. And he said, and you can take it right now. We've got one, it's $10,000 down. I said, well, to be honest, I don't have $10,000 cash in my pocket. I was just wandering around having a look. And within 2 minutes, that dropped to $5,000 down without any reason. You know what? I could probably do it for $5,000 down. And I said, you know what? As much as I don't have 10,000 in my pocket, I don't have 5,000 in my pocket right now. And again, 2 minutes later, it was $1,000 down. And, it got to the point where he said to me, well, what have you got on you? I said, well, I've got about $40 cash in my pocket right now, and I'm not putting a deposit for a car on plastic. I'll tell you that right now. I'm trying to be polite and, politely get out of there. And this guy said, 40. He said, yeah. He said, have you got any more? I said, I could probably do it for 50. I said, hang on, this was a really sought after car 15
Yeah.
minutes ago, and it was $10 down. And now you're trying to get me out the door in it for $50. I said, something's just not right here. I said, you know what, to be honest, I got to go, and just got out of there. Now, we've all had these situations in our life. Maybe not with that particular thing, but the pushback thing, is probably because we're giving the impression of pushing, if that makes sense to you.
That is part of it. That is part of it, Tony. I believe that, you know, that is definitely part of it. Like, you know, in the event that, you know, you're in a department store and the person says, "Can I help you, sir?" Most people go, "I'm good, I'm just looking," right? That person could have said, "Hey, man, I love your shirt," or "Where'd you get those shoes, man? Those are great," right? They could have easily done that to get some rapport, right? But they didn't. But typically, if somebody is, you know, keep in mind, traffic doesn't have any brains to it. Okay, so if I'm clicking a button and I'm buying 1,000 viewers, and you're clicking a button and buying 1,000 viewers, there's no emotions attached to that. Neither of us know any of those people, right, or what we're going to get. Okay, so, you know, it gets back to whether or not you believe, right, back to the wave particle theory, whether or not you believe that you're going to get results, whether or not you believe that you're deserving and worthy, and whether or not you love yourself enough to have an abundance flow come into you, right? And those are all questions. Only you know the answer to those, right? So if you're thinking in the back of your mind, "Oh, it didn't work last time. Last time I bought traffic, it didn't work. I'll bet it probably won't work again," right? You're already visualizing yourself putting $1,000 out and getting nothing back in return. Guess what magically happens? That's what happens. So how can it be that I run some traffic? Like, last week I was really tapped in, guys, to quantum physics. Okay? I'll be quite frank. I was doing multiple coaching calls throughout the day where I was talking about the wave particle theory, okay? And I showed my actual stats in the group, okay? Now, they were ridiculous. I mean, out of like 647 clicks, I had like 447 opt-ins. That's off the chain. That's like about, I don't know, 70% or something, a 70% opt-in rate. I've never had that type of an opt-in rate, ever. Now, what was different? It's the same traffic. You know, the best I've ever done, guys. It's important that you get this. When I was working with the iPass lead capture pages, it was around 18 to 20%. When I did a custom lead capture page, it went up to 34.9%. When I got tapped into quantum physics, okay, I want to get the exact number here. I'm going to go into the group, and I'm going to pull the actual chart. Okay, I want to show this to you guys because this is really important for you to actually get a visual of this so that you can see this for yourself. Okay.
Is that the graph?
Yeah, so, okay. So there was 684 visitors, and there was 447 people opted in. So 447 divided by 684 equals, that's a 65% opt-in rate. That's double the opt-in rate that I had on the best times ever, and the only difference was quantum physics. The only difference was me talking about the wave particle theory multiple times per day on coaching calls. The only difference was the vibrational resonance going on in my body. The only difference was me expecting my phone was going to be ringing off the hook, me expecting I was getting incoming calls, me expecting that I was having $3,000 payments coming in, and what ended up happening? I hit over 12 grand for the week. I'm telling you guys, this is so real that if you just trust this process and you believe that you are the power source, you create the reality. Everything that's going on in your reality right now is being created by your thoughts, your words, and your emotions. What do you believe to be true for you about your business? What do you believe that you're worth? When I start talking about a $12,000 week, how does your brain interpret that in your reality, right? Because everybody's going to be different, right? And the more that you accept the fact that the numbers are an illusion, they're completely an illusion, right? What is the factor is whether or not you feel worthy and deserving for that massive abundance flow to come to you, okay? For that massive abundance flow to come to you, right? Because if you don't feel worthy, I want you guys to picture this. There's this river that's going through, and there's a bunch of rocks that are in the river. Now, if you are a rock, the only thing that you can do from that river is get pummeled. You can get polished, right? But the water is going to go right around you until you can morph from a rock into a sponge. That's the personal development. That's the surrender. That's the relinquish. That's loving yourself enough to let that abundance flow in. What happens to a sponge when it goes into water? Helen, what happens to a sponge when it goes into water? You're muted out, Helen.
Who soak in water, sing.
So when you put a sponge into water, what happens?
It will sing when you soak enough water in there.
Does it get smaller or bigger?
Bigger.
Okay, so the sponge gets bigger, okay, and does the water go around the sponge, Helen, or does the water go through the sponge?
Go through.
Goes through the sponge, guys. So you start to see that. There's this massive raging river with white water rapids, and there's all these boulders that are in that river. Okay, those are people that are caught in the human condition, and all they're going to do, guys, is they're going to get pummeled by that white water. They can get polished, they can hone their skills, but they're not going to get wealthy. You see the difference? Can you visualize that in your head between the rock and the sponge? The sponge, the water's going right through it, guys. There's no resistance. That's the key. That's the key of allowing that abundance flow in. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go over to Chad Turner here. Chad, can you unmute?
Yep.
Okay. So, Chad, what I want you to do right now is I want you to talk to us a little bit about, you know, when you first got started with iPass and with Empower. Had you ever had? What's the most amount of income that you've ever made before in a day before?
In a day?
Yeah, in online marketing.
Online marketing, a couple $100.
Okay.
Just from like a one-time fast start.
Okay. So when you first started to dive into some of the training that I've got out, because you were one of the very few people that actually went to my YouTube channel, that went through a bunch of my trainings, that actually learned about Facebook chat and how to build rapport and connection with people, right? Because I could tell just from the questions that you're asking and watching your training and some of the stuff that you went through to get to where you are right now. So share a little bit about that. What are some of the things that you did? Which one of the videos did you be able to pull that information from? Because I can tell in your copywriting of what is really going on. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple videos on your channel that go over connecting, and I watched a lot of them because I knew that was something that I would be able to apply, because I knew that obviously I've been able to generate leads online and a lot of different methods. So then the final key to that for me was just putting it together to where the conversational marketing would work for me, and then they end up in my business.
Okay. So it was in the connecting, and then obviously what I've been talking about learn a strategy, implement the strategy, and share your results. So you chose Twitter, you figured out how to use it, you implemented it, you start generating the results, now you're sharing the results, and now what's happening? You've got other people that you're now mentoring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you feel now, with just learning how to connect with people, number one, how to connect with people, how to make it not about you, how to make it all about them, and how to get to a point where you got that little bit of kind of camaraderie or friendship, pique their curiosity and get them to the video, right? Is that what you've been doing?
That's exactly it.
Okay. So can you see now how just knowing that formula and having one thing that's special sauce, can you see, if you didn't know anything else, that's all that you knew, can you see how not only you can start having $3,000 days, but teach other people to start doing the same thing as you and see yourself going up to become a millionaire with just that, if you didn't learn another single thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy I got the training down, because nobody can have any excuses, like, that's it. If you do the connections and you do the millionaire mentoring, you get the proper mindset, you make a decision, nothing can stop you, really.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Because you're only what? Are you at 2 months even yet, or is it still like 7 weeks?
It's pretty much approaching 7 weeks, 6, 7 weeks.
Okay.
And it was over the holidays, so I haven't even, for Thanksgiving, Christmas, it wasn't like complete full bore for the first couple.
Okay. So and Chad, so give us an idea. This is, I'm asking you to be a little bit vulnerable here, but what's the most amount of money that you've ever made your whole life in a single year?
Because I've always was going to college, and then I did serving and bartending, but really probably only 20, around 20K, 20 to 30K. A lot of that money is not claimed, so I really don't know exactly. I've always been comfortable,
Okay.
but
So
yeah.
20 to 30K, and now so if you take out the 2 holidays, so realistically, somebody could start a business from a complete flat start and take 1 full week to totally entrench themselves into my videos that you watch, correct?
Mm-hmm.
1 week, and take the next 3 weeks to implement the connecting strategy of 25 connections a day, break inertia, and have a $3,000 day. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Absolutely. So, guys, that's what I really want for you to understand here. Now, Chad, let me ask you this. Can you see do you look at yourself differently now as a leader when you look at yourself in the mirror? Has your reality completely transformed into a new path because of going through this training?
Through like Millionaire Mentoring, Unstoppable Vision, all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for sure. I've been on, a personal development path, and like just quantum physics, all types of different information like that for a long time. But yeah, definitely, it's been a big shift. It's just when you can really accept, that you are the center of your being, and everything is an extension of you, then it's just, you just make the decision, you're going to do something or you're not going to do something, and that's what it is.
Absolutely. And guys, that's what I'm talking about being on a mission. Because, you know, if I know that, you know, if I take 25 times 21, it's like, I think 525 connections or conversations, and I am like a laser. So I know that from me to breaking inertia, there's 525 conversations or connections that I'm having. Now keep in mind, I can speed that up. I don't have to just do 25 in a day. I could do 30. I could do 40. I mean, I've had some days where I've done 75. So if I wanted to, I could get there faster than 3 weeks if I did more than 25 in a single day. But guys, these are real numbers. This is real data that I'm talking about here, that I've done time and time and time again. Every single time I roll out the exact same formula. This is the formula to get from 0 to 10,000 a month in 30 days. Okay? Now, when I go from 0 to 10,000 a month in 30 days, you need to have 1,000 conversations or connections. 1,000 conversations or connections. Now, keep in mind, some of those conversations that you're going to have with one person, there might be 4 of them in the month. Those all count. Those all count. So it's not 1,000 people, it's 1,000 conversations, right? 1,000 conversations is going to get you from 0 to 10 grand a month. But you have to be aware of the polarity of the magnet as another commission comes in, guys. See that? I just got that right now. You got to be aware of the polarity of your magnet, okay? So are you the detective? Are you pulling the information out of people, piquing their curiosity and getting out of the way so that it's going this way, right? This is the attractor factor and all the conversations about the other person versus repelling the person where I'm saying, hey, have you heard about this business? Hey, you got to check out this business. Hey, you got to do this, right? They're going to already be like this with pushback. Right? So if you visualize this in your body of this polarity, which way is it set? It's like a switch. And until you recognize that this is real, this is really truly real, you're either going to be attracting or repelling. That's how the magnet works. And you're going to be attracting when you ask questions about the other person. Now, here's what I can tell you. If you can talk to people like you've known them for a lifetime, you will get instant rapport with them. Instant rapport. If you talk to people like you've known them for a lifetime, right, then instant rapport. And I call that going into a state of vulnerability. You know, what do I mean by that? So if somebody said, if I say, hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Pretty good, Darren. How about yourself? If I go right into vulnerability, they're going to open up automatically in instant like this. So if I say, you know, it's going really well, you know, I had my son here from San Diego. He came in town for the holiday. We had a really great time. $47 upgrade. We had a great time together, and I'm going to see him again on spring break. I sure miss him a lot. Do you have kids? I haven't hardly said any words yet. Right? I've hardly said any words. But they're already opening up. Why? Because they're thinking about their kids, if they have any, and not being able to see them for months at a time. So I'm already opening them up by being vulnerable. There's strength in vulnerability, right? So remember that when you're connecting with somebody, talk about your real life, you know? Don't be afraid to open up. Don't make it all surface stuff, right? You know, get a few, if you're chatting back and forth and you're getting some LOLs going back and forth, you're on the right path. That's called connecting with people. right? You want to be able to talk about casual or talk about cool things that are happening in your life, a great movie that you've been to, a good book that you're reading, some breakthrough that you've had, something that's funny that's going on in your life. Oh, I got to tell you this story. This is hilarious, right? So get good at that type of stuff of opening up. And once you open up, they feel a lot more comfortable. When people feel comfortable, they start to trust each other. And that's where people say, well, Darren, how could you ever recruit a new rep in 3 minutes? How's that even possible? It's possible because I instantly open them up into a state of vulnerability, right? And they feel more comfortable telling me their problems, right? And that's the goal. You want people to be comfortable telling you about their pain, right? And as you get better at this, as your frequency goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, right, what will happen is that your resonance of your body, okay, is like truth serum. And when you bump into people, they can be complete total strangers, and you will hear this a lot. You know what? I don't even know why I'm telling you this. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. They're telling you that because your vibrational level is taking them to their breakthrough. It's called spontaneous breakthrough. And the higher that you can get your resonance to, you will be in situations where you'll be at a seminar or something and somebody will just come over to you to say hello, and you'll see it in their body, okay? Their Pandora's box starts to rumble, poof, and they break down and they start crying, and they have no idea why. That's why. That's why. It's a higher resonance that you're at a different level here, vibration, right? And they're at here, poof, spontaneous combustion, tap, that happens like that, right? So now, Tony, have you ever seen that happen ever?
Lots of times where you know, it's people used to use the term aura, but in reality, you know, I was reading something today without going down the rabbit hole, but in reality, scientists didn't believe in this, and they believe in it now. The energy levels we give off. So if you've ever been somewhere and you found that you've turned around, you've been in a room and you've just turned around to see who's come in the room, you have no idea why. Here's what happens: that energy translates. If you've ever been in a situation where someone's looking at you, you just know they're looking at you, and you turn around and catch them. It's the same sort of thing. We're picking it up deep down. That energy translates, but it's not just off that person. It literally is like the whirling dervish, if you know what that is. The person comes in the room, they're emitting that. All of a sudden, not you, but everyone in the room turns around, and it just. You want to, you know, when you get your energy there, you become that person in the room. As soon as you walk in the room, you become that person. But it comes from within, and you'll just all of a sudden try. It's not a 1 second thing. It's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. I'm just writing down now the same thing. I just need to get myself. I've got to put it down again. I've got to go back to Ferrari tomorrow. I've got to go speak to my real estate broker tomorrow. I've just got to get back into that same energy. From somehow I got myself out the vortex into a low vibrating one. I just need to go thump, get straight back in it. And you know, so as I'm watching this and writing it down, but definitely as you walk in the room, if people are not turning around, if people are not coming over to talk to you, it was the side of the wall at the end going like, why am I all alone? Why is no girls coming to me and talking to me? Why? Because that's what I expected. However, now I don't go into a room expecting people to turn around. It just happens by doing nothing. I was chatting with someone yesterday. He said, how do you do this stuff? And I went, what stuff are you talking about? I have no clue what you're talking about. And this has happened 2 or 3 times in the last day or two where people just start talking to you. And it's what we give off. So if we're at that situation where we're not getting that, you know, last week Darren said, like, go sit in a Ferrari. How many did it? Okay, I'm the guy that doesn't need a car, and I went and did it. Why? Because it was just like, yeah, I know what I need to do. I just need to plug in. I'd need to plug in with that energy. Now, whether that's from a car, whether that's from looking at a $10 million apartment, whether it's from going riding horses at a horse farm, whether it's from just trying on Armani or whatever it is, or whether it's eating in better restaurants or just being around the good people, all of a sudden your energy levels will just start to go without thinking about it, without going into your head. It will just, boom, you'll get caught up in your own vortex, and then everything good starts happening. All of a sudden, it just ching, 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 and ching, and without thinking about it, going, oh yeah, well, this makes sense. I was just looking there on that chart, very, very similar. I don't know if anyone else noticed this. It had two crests on there. So the first one, they were running parallel, one day, second day, and the third day, exponentially went, boom, the gap. And then it dips a bit, then again, running parallel, boom. So this whole thing is momentum. And when it starts going, and Chad made a very valid point there about the holidays, when you get all that momentum, all of a sudden things get in the way. Momentum has a half-life. You take a day off, it's not going straight back on where you left, or you have a day off from that vibrational energy, and you're flat on your back, and you're doing nothing, and you're eating piles of crap in there, and it takes you a day or two to get back into it. However, once you get into that energy field, in that sphere, in that vortex, all of a sudden, people are going to get dragged in. More often in life, because there's so many people in the downward vortex, in the vortex that drags people down, like the bathtub, you can get dragged into that with news and media and petty bullshit. When we distance ourselves from that, and I talk constantly about the 5 people we spend the most time with, when we distance ourselves from that and just connect with like-minded people. If you're sat in a room full of people with the flu, you'll probably get the flu. If you're sat in a room full of healthy people, full of energy, guess what? That's transferred into you. And that happens with everything, whether it's physical energy, whether it's spiritual energy. It's the same sort of thing. It's the same sort of vibration. It's all in line. And it just happens. And Chad's got it right now. It's happening with Chad right now. He's expecting it. He's on doing the Twitter, and he's on it expecting it. And I know what I need to do. I need to just go plug back into that energy level and not the energy level I was just doing. The same thing with me. Mine all comes from Facebook. So I've just got to go, boom, okay, I was at that, right, I've just got to plug back into the 10K investment people. So to do and hang out where the 10K investment people go, not to speak to them, just to get back into that breathing. So instead of this coffee shop, I'm just going to go to that coffee shop on the other side of town. I've got to go, I've wrote it down here, I've got a list here. I've just got to go to Ferrari tomorrow. For no reason at all, I've just got to breathe it in for an hour. I'm going to call my broker right now, just put a list right now. Just show me some. She knows I'm not buying an apartment. She knows that. And I said, listen, just show me something. Like the last one. I want to show you this $10 million apartment. Well, you do know I don't have 10 million cash on me right now, don't you? Yeah, I know that. So you know I'm not buying it. You know that. Yeah, I know that. Do you want to look at it? Yeah, sure I want to look at it. And just, again, go do this. I mean, just go do this. Brokers, car dealers, if you're going in, I don't suppose you'd let me sit in that Ferrari, would you? No, they won't. Okay. No. And if you got a house, it's for sale, but you wouldn't be interested in showing me around a house like that, would you? Because I'm not dressed right. Because no, I wouldn't. Okay. As opposed to, boom. I was in that Ferrari place there, and he showed me this car. I'm in this car. I'm messing around. All right, I've got the keys. Not, is there a chance you can fire it up? Just give me the keys. So I just fire the car up. Never said a thing. In the showroom, by the way. So fire the car up in the showroom, and people are looking at me. I'm just playing around with the car. And I went, yeah, I like that. What have you got in the back? And he said, what do you mean? I said, listen, you guys have always got stuff in the back hidden. What have you really got? What's the real stuff? It's like going into a cigar store in New York. Yeah, those are great. I need the Cubans underneath. We have no Cubans. Yeah, whatever. Tell that to everyone else. Give me the Cubans. And it's the same with this. We're rummaging around. Well, this is a customer's car. Okay, I'm going to get in this car. So I'm just going, sit in this one, and just breathing into it. And then, funny thing was, I went into the Range Rover place next door and felt like shit. I really felt like, fucking these guys are wasting my time here. I lasted about 10 minutes. I did a video on this. In reality, it was something that I was given off. I lasted 10 minutes in the Range Rover place. So it was like 2 hours in a Ferrari joint. And it was as though, with hindsight now, looking back at my level there, my energy there, either They weren't, you know, talk about tuning folks. I was at this level, and the other one was at that level, the flat one, and I just wasn't going back down to their level. I was just literally like, you know, excuse my language, but I was literally like, fuck it, I can't do this. I can't do this. Back to Ferrari again. And this is everything we do. So I'm going to hand it back to you before I implode here.
Okay. Okay, guys, so what I want to just put out to you is back to the specific formula. What's the formula? What's the formula for becoming a leader, right? Learn some type of a strategy. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? It could be Facebook. It could be Twitter. It could be Craigslist. It could be press releases. Something. You've got to learn some sort of a strategy, implement it, get some data, and then share your results, okay? This is an example of being able to have a platform where I can talk to a group of people and share my results. So a couple things that I'm going to tell you. If you don't know how to set up a Google Hangout right now, you better learn. If you don't know how to use screen share, you better learn, right? Go to YouTube, look at how to set up a Google Hangout, how to do screen share. You need to learn these skills, guys, right? Chad's done some great Twitter training right now to give people a boost up on Twitter. There's tons of stuff that I've done on Facebook strategies on how to get that connection going. The 4 key things: family, occupation, recreation, motivation, on how to get a connection with people, right? How to pique their curiosity, right? Asking them about their passion. Another great question is, so, what's your vision for 2015, right? What goals have you set for yourself for 2015, right? That's a great way to start getting people connected to their dream, okay? But keep in mind, if you're not learning and you're not implementing and you're not sharing data, you're certainly not going to be looked up to as a leader. If you're not presenting to people to guide them, how are people going to look at you as a leader, right? So these are things that I will tell you. We're going to start here, guys, as a unit like this, okay? And we'll have these Sunday night millionaire mentoring sessions. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, okay? Because I've seen this happen multiple times over the course of my career. Chad is going to step into his power, and he's going to become a leader. And he's going to want to do his own little group of his own training, his own mentoring, his own coaching as to what he's learned. How did he go from here to here in a month? How did he go from a complete flat start to having a $3,000 day in 4 weeks, right? How is that possible, right? So he now has some special sauce. Now, what he does with that special sauce is going to be his path. I don't know, right? Hopefully he'll do a little, fast track your way to a $3,000 day, right? There becomes another little special sauce series. What do you got to do? What are all the 10 things that he learned on connecting, on quantum physics, on proclamations, on speaking his reality into existence, on personal development, on learn, implement, share, all those things. Whoa, he creates a little special sauce thing. Boom! Now he's presenting and fast tracking people, and now there's a reason for them to work with Chad. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Yep. Okay. So, the
Absolutely.
question is, the blocker between where you are right now and where you really need to go to, right, which is the leader zone, is your fear. This zone right here between where you are right now and the zone that you need to get to as a leader is your fear. Okay, so it's fear of the unknown, okay, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being judged, right, fear of being ridiculed, right, fear of being in the spotlight and messing up, right, fear that you don't know a skill, you gotta just take the little tiny baby steps, guys. The little tiny baby steps. So as an example, I can tell you that if I didn't know how to use PowerPoint, right, which is a presentation software, and a software that allows me to make really fast graphics, like fast, fast, fast. Take a screenshot, pop it in, add an arrow, put a circle around some stuff, add some text, take another screenshot, boom, I've got something for my campaign, right? 5 minutes, poof, right? If I did not know how to use PowerPoint, that would be the one thing at the very top of my list as a leader. Why? Because that's going to be the foundation of me being able to present material to other people so that they can start to be able to learn, implement, and share themselves, right? So if I don't have anything that I can guide them along a path to, right, so that they can really get the data of what they need to get to learn, implement, and share, I'm at a, a disadvantage, right? So I could either go, oh, I don't know how to use PowerPoint. Oh, I don't know what to do, right? Or I can just go get the program and start to figure it out. Most of these programs, they all have a customer support line. There's a 1-800 number that you can typically call where you can talk to somebody who's technical. And they all have a little help section, right? Now on Thursday, I'm going to do probably a 2-hour training, guys, on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to go into PowerPoint. I'm going to show you some of the things that I do, some of the things that have allowed me to be able to fast track myself. I'm not going to be able to show everything, but I'm going to show you the basics. What do you need to do to be able to fast track yourself to success? I'm going to show you how I use Facebook, some of the things that I post about, how to start getting interaction, how to create controversy, things like that, and how to start to showcase your results through your campaign so that your phone starts ringing off the hook with incoming calls. Then the being in the zone or in the game and in the bleachers strategy. It's not an accident that we have the iPass profit maximizers and then we have the iPass to black card elites. Why is that? Why is that? Why do you think that we have that, Mary? Tell me.
Why we have the black card?
Why is there two groups? Why is there one group for entry and some other group? Tell me about that from a marketing strategy.
Well, entry level is like just testing things out. I mean, for somebody to come up with almost $4,000 to go black card, you have to be very serious. You have.
But we could have from I want you to understand the significance of this from a marketing standpoint, because we could have just had one big group. So why have I separated a certain number of people in another group? Why do you think that I have done that?
Well, because their mindset's different. I mean.
Okay. Let me share this with you.
Okay, maybe I'm not getting this.
Have you ever gone to a club and there's a VIP section?
Yeah.
Roped off?
Yep.
Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you walk into a club and you know that there's some other like posh area where all the celebrities go and all the important people hang out, isn't that something that you always think in the back of your mind, geez, I wonder what's in there? I want to be in there. Yeah. I want to go see what's in there, right? Yes or no?
Yes, it creates curiosity.
Okay. So when you start to see all of the success in the business coming from Black Card Elite, and when you start to see all of the fun coming from the VIP section, isn't that where you want to be too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why. That's why. So you're either in with the people that are in the know, you're either in with the people that are getting all the mentoring and training and coaching and masterminding, or you're out. So you're either in the game or you're in the bleachers. And that's the strategy, and it's done for a reason. So, you want to be able to leverage some of these things, right, yourself, right? Because, as we move forward and we get more people into that black card elite zone, I'm telling you this, there's going to be a lot more success where we're just going pop, 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 $3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, $12,000 days are going to start popping out of our group. I can tell you because I can already see it, and it's already starting to happen for me. I've had 3 days now where I just about hit 9 grand for the day, guys. 3 times. Okay? And I'm telling you, it's going to start happening more and more and more. Now, Chad is the first person, truthfully, and I'll be honest with you guys, Chad's the first guy that has taken the Millionaire Mentoring training all the way through, put it through his posts, implemented the results, right, to be able to now be mentoring other people where they're going through his training that he put together and now commenting on his training that they're getting results from the training. So he went all the way through the learn, implement, share, creating a training, creating special sauce, putting it together, right? We've all been on the path for the same amount of time. Think about this. We've all been on the path for the same amount of time.
Yep.
We've all had the ability. We all knew the strategies. Chad's the only guy that actually put together the special sauce to create those 2 videos, right, where there was a guide where he was actually showing live recruiting, right? He showed live recruiting of the interaction between people and getting them to a video, and you could hear his phone going off with new contacts and new prospects. Do you think that's a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that Chad's had a $3,000 day and that he's signing 3 people in a day? Because he followed the actual mentoring. He's actually done the work. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay. So now, Chad, let me ask you this. When I first started to talk to you about, the concept of the special sauce and that you were going to have to, put together this thing or go on video and blah, 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 were you sitting there going like, holy crap, now I got to put myself on stage? Did you have butterflies at all? Were you thinking like, geez, I'm got to step into a leader now?
I guess I didn't really have butterflies, more so just figuring out how I'm going to package up the product.
Okay.
That's been the main thing.
So you went from where you were to where you are now. You broke through inertia. You put that together. Now tell me what has happened now for your whole business. I saw testimonials coming through now for underneath your stuff.
That was cool. Yeah, in the first few weeks, this is the most forward momentum I've had in any business. Now I've personally sponsored 19 people. I've gotten over 50 sales, all from free marketing methods. I have not implemented any paid marketing yet, which I have had it on my mind for a while. I just haven't done it yet. I've just been sticking to my one marketing method and plugging into it and doing it every single day. And now that I've been doing it, I don't have to hit it I still hit it every day. But like the first 3 weeks, I was hitting it kind of like a madman, but now there's so much momentum to where every morning I wake up with 40 messages plus in my Twitter inbox. And then I just kind of go to work, take care of business, make the connections, follow 1,000 people again, which I haven't even followed 1,000 people yet today. And yeah, I've been getting more autopilot sales. The last 4 people in the last couple days, they've been, on autopilot I haven't even conversated with them yet. So
fantastic. Okay, so let me ask you this. Helen, do you see anything that we've talked about here today that you feel that you cannot do? Unmute yourself because you're muted. Helen, you're muted.
Are you talking to me? Okay. I definitely agree with chart that you put in a lot of effort to, like, communicate, like, 25 people a day. At least you make 25 conversation, or maybe you can do it the other way is traders. So I've been in both sides, Twitter and Facebook, building up all my followers, and then trying to follow people at the same time. Yes, I didn't put in the amount of time that chart have did, that 1,000 follower or whatever. So, like, I grab whatever I can while I'm working.
Okay, cool, cool. So do you feel pretty confident now, Helen, that
Yeah.
you have the tools, you've got a support system here for yourself, you've got a team here that can help you along the path. You feel a lot more confident now than maybe you were a month ago or 2 months or 6 months ago. Are things starting to shift for you now, Helen?
Yes, yes, definitely. I see it. Like, if I continue doing that, I'm going to get all what I want here. So I have all the system in. I have lead coming in every day now. So I can start seeing that lead coming in, and then I do follow up with the email. I have the built-in email follow up, but eventually I'm going to put in my own word too. So I have a comment from another guy say, like, my email is too long. It's just because of all the follow-up email there. I said, like, no, this is a preloaded system that I use. So he was commenting, so I should cut short some of the follow-up email.
Yeah, but you know what? Don't let one person's comment, sway your path, Helen. I mean, I get people that say, "Oh, too many emails." Okay, well, see you then. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me, right? It's like, okay,
Yes.
you wouldn't want to be. You're the broke guy. You're okay. We're over here having $6,000 days. We'll have fun. Bye now. Don't get emotionally attached to any of that, right?
No, totally agree with that. But, like, again, I still follow up with, like, both sides. I have a get response, and I have the other one, waivers, that I have lead from the previous, program that I'm in. So I have both sides that I shoot up email almost every day.
Okay. So, Mary, over to you. Is there anything here that you're seeing that you go, "Oh my God, I could never do that"?
Oh, hell no, I can do it. But I got to tell you something. On Chad, okay, I've gone back and I watch him a lot because he's just phenomenal, okay. And one of the things that I caught when he talks about his stuff is how he's focused. He is focused, and that is a difference right there, is how focused he is. I mean, you can tell there's nothing else he's got blinders on. He's just focused. Tell me I'm wrong, Chad. You are, aren't you? You're just focused.
Yes, I am focused.
I think we all just got to get really focused.
Can I give you something here for what it's worth?
Sure.
I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we started talking about, I'm just using Ferraris as an example, but we're talking about focus and just something I'm feeling here. It's that energy level. We're talking about techniques a lot of the time here, but if you've got the best technique in the world, but the vibration you're giving off is not aligned with that technique, someone is just going to feel something's a little bit off. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's like our intuition, something's a little bit off. So Darren said a few weeks ago, go sit in a Ferrari, and I think I ended up going on somewhere with somebody else. Now, there's two things here, and it both came into fruition for me today. I had someone reach out to me going, my mindset's blah, 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 blah. It's not someone that works with, it's just someone that I'm connected with. And this, that, and the other. Just by chance, this morning, I ordered some breakfast, and I was about to read, and I had my notepad with me, which I do every morning now, and someone else messaged me saying, oh, sorry I didn't get back to you, it's the end of the month, and I went, oh, crap, a month in. We're a third of a quarter of the way through a year. I set out with a specific intent to do some. I didn't do New Year's resolutions, but there's one thing I intended to do for January. So I thought, okay, well, I've done it. I've actually expanded on that, but I did it. And I just thought, you know, it's like 2 weeks into January, people give up on the thing. And this guy it's like I don't know if it's the January blues thing. And this guy reached out, and someone else was like, da, 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 da. And for some reason, I just thought, you know, 10 things well, and I did it in 5 minutes. So all of a sudden, I turned that into something. And Darren's talking about leadership. You know, this stuff's not always in a book. This stuff, when you're at that level, you just come up with stuff. So I put this. Here's a little exercise. February the 1st, 5-minute exercise. Write down the 10 great things you did in January that you hadn't done before. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. And my phone's going. So this is getting people plugged back in. But what I will definitely say, you know, and it's without going into too many details here, Darren and I used to talk a lot, and still do. And there was a point there where I had to get myself in a shift. So I walk every day. I'd go for a walk down Madison Avenue. And Madison is where everything is. And I live 10 minutes from that. And I don't live where there's big shopping stores. And I don't go shopping. I just walk there and breathe into it. Then the other day I saw the thing about the Ferrari and then the apartment. So as I'm doing here, I've got a little exercise. So this time next week, you know, I understand, well, I'm not like Darren, or I'm not like Tony, or I'm not like this, or I'm not like that, I'm not like that. You know what? We're all the same. We're all the same. So I've got a little exercise here. If I give it to you, will you do it? To take you to that level between now for the next 7 days. You can easily do it in 7 days. Will you do it? Mary, I'm looking straight at you. Just nod your head, guys, if yes. Yeah? Okay. Real simple. I've got about 10 things here. Choose 5. Okay. Choose 5. Here's what I want you to do. Tonight. Okay. Tonight. I'm just looking behind you there, Mary, because your face is up on my screen. The best time is now. That's right behind you. So you have no excuse. And everyone else can see it, so none of us have it. So tonight. I don't know where you guys live. I don't know what's around there. If you live out in the country, there's probably not a dealer. Okay? If you live where I live, there's no horse farms in Manhattan. I'm sorry. There just isn't. So out of the list, I want you to do 5 of these things this week. Either, okay, and not just I'm going to go to the Chevy dealer. That's a different vibration. Go find, as best as you can, a car dealer. If you're a car person, a car dealer. And go sit in a car and turn it on. Call, look at a real estate thing. You can do this online. Find out where you really want to live. Anywhere in your own town within 15, 20 minutes from where you live now, go and find your dream home in that area. Then what I want you to do is call a broker for a look round. Okay? Just call a broker, say, I've seen your thing. Okay, I'm interested. Okay, I'm not sure, because they're going to ask you, do you own your own home? Do you rent your own home? They're going to ask you a bunch of stuff to pre-qualify you. So you've got to remain emotionless from it. Not, well, I'm looking because I'm setting my goals. It's, yeah, you know what? I'm going to step right into it. Well, I'm looking because I love that area, and I saw this house, and it caught my eye, and I just get a good feel about it, and I want to see it. I want to go walk around and just see it and see if it's for me. That's what you need to say. You don't need to get. They will get that from you. And then, you know, if you like, for example, motorcycles, go and sit on a. If you like clothes, go and try something on. Go to Armani or wherever it is. Go to Christian Louboutin. Go and try the shoes on. Go to, I know travel agents now, it's all online, so go have a look if travel's your thing and just plot a route. Okay, if I've got a month off, here's what I'm going to do. I was talking with a guy yesterday about this, the train. I love trains. There's an Amtrak that goes from New York to Philly to Chicago, 43 hours down to LA, and then can come back around. So I plotted a route out. I plotted the whole route out and went and looked at times and prices and the whole thing and started writing all this stuff down. So breathe right into it. If it's restaurants, if it's food you love. And I did this, walked down Madison Avenue and read all the menus of the real places and went, okay, I'm not spending $200 for dinner right now, but when I am, this is what I'm having, this is what I'm having, this is what I'm having, this is what I'm having. Next one, this is what I'm having, this is what I'm having. Another great one, if you live near the water, is boats. They give off a certain vibrational energy. I don't know if it's to do with the water, but when you sit there and you get this, boom, or art galleries is another one. So there's about 10 different things here. Choose 5 and do them this week. Take 15 minutes of your day, every day, and do them. And when you do it, don't just go and look in the window. Go and sit in it. Don't just look at the brochure. Go and just say, I want to see this property. I want to walk around. They're not going to tell you, no, you can't, because really it's only on the market, but we don't want to show it to anyone. It's just for show to look at. Well, it's not for sale, it's just for show. They want to sell you the property. They want you in the clothes. They want you in the Ferrari. They want you trying this stuff out because they know all of a sudden it becomes real. And when it becomes real, you breathe into it. And the fact is, you know, I walked into a Ferrari dealership with no intent whatsoever. I'm the guy, I don't need a car, I don't have a license anymore. It's somewhere in the East River somewhere. I threw it away. I'll never drive again. I sit in this car for 5 minutes. I'm just going like, you know, the next morning, all that's in my head is the feel and the smell and the sound and the whole thing. Same in the apartment. I don't want a 5-bedroom, $10 million apartment. For me, it's just a cleaning nightmare. But walk around, sat in the chairs. I can remember the bottles of wine there. I can remember the maze course. I can remember the private elevator. I can remember what the leather chair at the desk feels like. So every time I need to plug back in, it's already there. So if you haven't already done it, guys, looking at the Rob report is one thing. Go and try this stuff on. It could be jewelry. It could be whatever it is. But the energy you'll get off the physical matter will take your own energy level up to another level. So that's my little exercise for you. Write down 10 things that you've done in January, you've already achieved. And then from there, put yourself in that mindset. Right, I've done this, that, and the other. Okay, now is my February. Now is, I'm going to do these 5 things this week. Write down a list of 10, do 5 this week. I've got my 5. I'm on it. And then, you know what? Guess what? Like anything else, showcase it. You've got social media. Showcase it. Do the check-ins at the Ferrari place. Get ridiculed. And you're going to have people saying, what are you doing that for? Okay. And you're going to have people joking around. You know, I did the $10 million apartment tour. I had about $200 cash on me. You haven't got $10 million. So, I wasn't buying it cash. You're an idiot. I know. It's okay. Enjoy. How was the factory today? You know, things like that. And what this also does by taking your own frequency up, you're going to get people dropping out your life, and you're going to get people coming into your life. But this works on a downward spiral or an upward spiral. But by showcasing it, you are signaling intent. It's the old ways, I still do it now, you write down the goals. And I always told people, write down your goals. And what you do, if you live with your families, you stick, and people are going to laugh at your goals. And if they're not, your goals, your dreams, your intent is not large enough. You want people ridiculing. You want people laughing. You want to just literally project yourself above all that rather than get dragged down into that. Well, I put this out there, but people might laugh at you. You think people don't laugh at my videos? I know, I do that on purpose. I'm having fun. And then, you know, the first 2 or 3 weeks, it was like, you know, people think you're an idiot. Then I get all these Facebook messages saying, you know what, I love your videos. I have no idea what you're doing and what you're talking about. Hey, neither have I. I'm just out there having fun. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. And there's some people that ridiculed it, and they've just vanished. And there's loads of other people jumping on board going, you know, look at this guy's videos. And that's just one example. One example. You know, the house thing, you put the house on wherever you live. You know, I'm looking at this home, and it's whatever it is, you know, $1 million, whatever it is. And, you know, you're walking around the house, do a quick video. Do a little video, walk around the house. Put it out there. You know what's going to happen? You're going to get people that live in that neighborhood that are going to see and go, oh, I live in this neighborhood. And all of a sudden you're connecting with people in the $1 million or the $2 million or the $10 million homes. So your own level is going to be raised from that. You know, we're talking here about the energy levels we give off. Go and do the 5 things this week. Go and do the 5 things this week. The 5 things. When you go to Louboutin, you know, take a picture of yourself in the shoes. Take a picture of yourself take the selfie in the mirror. You know, whatever it is. Okay.
Perfect.
And all of a sudden, good stuff will just keep coming your way. I can do this for an hour, but I'm going to go right off down on one. So, Darren, I'm going to hand that straight back to you.
Okay, great. Okay, guys, so that wraps up our Millionaire Mentoring session for tonight. Obviously, we got some big weeks ahead, but what I would put out to you is to, you know, set your intention and to set a date for yourself. You know, okay, I'm going to do my first broadcast on such and such a date. Right? If you want to make big money, I'll tell you this straight up. If you want to make big money, you're going to have to step into a leadership role. That's just this industry. It's a leadership business model. So you can make dinner money. You know, you don't want to be a leader? No problem. You can make dinner money and, you know, a few $100s here and there, no problem. But if you want to start making $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month, that will not happen unless you step into a leadership role. So just make the decision on how much income that you want to make. Leadership's not for everybody, guys. It's not, right? It's not. No problem. You know, then be okay with making a little bit less. Right? If you want to make big money, you're going to have to break through your fear. You're going to have to step into your power and step into your leader to get to that next level. So you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes. Thanks a lot for joining us on this exclusive and private VIP call, and have a great night.
Thanks.